During Angie Kellogg's 25-plus year career in higher education, she has fostered student success, promoted diversity, equity, and inclusion. According to Hua Xiong, another one of the 2018 recipients of this award, Angie has been one of the most influential individuals in my life. She puts forth 110% of her effort to make students feel comfortable and has the ability to build a strong rapport with students based on a foundation of trust. She is overdue for this deserved recognition. Angie's leadership ability and dedication to multiculturalism are surpassed only by her human and ethical qualities. She is an inclusive and collaborative professional who personifies the qualifications of the award, notes Andy Held, Director of Disability and Assistive Technology at UW-Stevens Point. UWL has played a significant role in Angie's professional and personal life. Not only did she receive her master's degree in college student personnel, but she met her husband Dan from the class of 2001 and worked on this campus for 9 years. In 2017, she had joined the UWL Alumni Association Board of Directors. In addition, Angie continues to give back to the communities in which she lives, including advising the United Way and the Council on Racial and Ethnic Justice. She also has worked to facilitate programming for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebrations and Asian Awareness Week. Please join me in congratulating Angie.
Thank you so much. I am truly honored and humbled for this recognition. I actually was in your role last year and emceed this event, and I remember being in awe of the recipients, and I am in awe again of this year's recipients as I've got a chance to meet them the last day or two, so to be part of this group is truly an honor and very humbling. So thank you. When I thought of how to organize my thoughts, organized my remarks, I thought, well, let's just use the name of the award, the Parker Multicultural Distinguished Alumni Award, and why this means so much to me. Parker. I am extremely honored to receive this award because of who it's named after, Dr. Jim Parker. I had the pleasure of knowing Dr. Parker during the 90s when we worked together. He's a respected colleague, he's a scholar, he's an outstanding professor who was beloved by students and respected by colleagues. And in addition, Dr. Parker was a strong advocate for diversity and equity. He was an ally, an instigator, an educator, a mentor, a catalyst, and a change agent who wasn't afraid to speak up and challenge the status quo in a way that only Dr. Parker can. When I've worked at other institutions, I've had a couple colleagues ask me, how has UWL been able to make progress on diversity issues? And I said, well, you gotta get yourself one of those Dr. Parkers. Because it was great to talk with you and Eliza and now your granddaughter as well, who's working here with Campus Climate and sounds like carrying on the legacy as well. Dr. Parker always made us laugh, made us think, made us act, and ultimately made us better as individuals and as a campus community. So to receive this award in his name means the world to me, and I hope to continue to uphold your legacy. So thank you, Dr. Parker. Multicultural. I am proud to be multicultural. My mother immigrated here from the Philippines when she was 16 years old, from Manila to Dubuque, Iowa. After graduating from college and returning to the Philippines, she returned to teach in a small town in Iowa where she met my dad, European American with German heritage. They got married and settled in Iowa where I grew up. Growing up in Iowa was great. I wouldn't change a thing, but being the only brown faces in town was sometimes challenging. And so I certainly dealt with my share of racism. They didn't know what to make of me, so they just kind of threw different racial slurs and hoping that one might stick. I remember the first time I was told to go back to where I came from. I was confused because I had no idea why I would want to go back to Marshalltown, Iowa. Very literal as a child. So, ultimately once people got to know me, I didn't hear those anymore, at least to my face. And graduated president of the class that once considered me the other. I went to college in Missouri, and where I grew in my identity, as a lot of college students do. But it was when I came to UWL for graduate school, where my understanding of myself and how it fit into the broader context truly developed. My graduate assistantship, where I later returned to work as a professional, was in student activities and centers, where I was surrounded by staff who really took diversity seriously. The director, Larry Ringenberg, ensured conversations about diversity were integrated into our work, whether that was ensuring diverse programming or striving for diverse representation in organizations. My colleague, Jay Scott, exposed me to social justice issues and the intersectionality of various forms of oppression. In a classroom, it prompted me to reflect on my own identity and make meaning of my own journey, which later informed my work and my research in biracial and multiracial college student identity because I didn't see my experiences reflected in the literature. I also got to work with so many great people like Thomas Harris, who's still doing such great work at this institution. So, all of those experiences were so informative to me and the people that I met along the way. Which is why I stayed here. So after graduating, I remained at UWL, worked in multicultural affairs, now the Office of Multicultural Student Services. We had amazing staff. It's so great to see Colleen and others here that I haven't seen in so long. And we worked with amazing students, like Antoina, who now is the director of the office. I advised the Asian student organization and a lot of women of color, and my partner Dan advised the Latino student organization, and we also attended events with BSU and NASA, and I have such great memories of those times. Bus trips to Atlanta to the Martin Luther King Center for Nonviolent Social Change, helping with a lot of multicultural dinners, or just hanging out and talking in the Multicultural Center. These awards is great and an honor, but to me, the greatest reward is seeing former students who are going on to do such great work and great things with their families, their careers, and their communities. And I'm so blessed to have had the chance to meet some great students who showed up late at night on Thursday night and who are here today. Thank you for being here and taking the time. It shows your initiative. It's been wonderful meeting you all and hearing the great things that you're doing. And I hope you continue to take advantage of all the many, many resources and opportunities that UWL has to offer. And I have a feeling I'll be seeing some of you on this stage sometime in the future. So I wish you the best in your pursuits, and thanks again for being here. As I look back on the time since I've been here, we've made a lot of progress, but as you all know, we've got a lot of work to do. Hate crimes are occurring in record numbers. Folks of color and other diverse groups continue to be underrepresented all over the place, from our colleges to our corporations, to our Congress. Equity gaps are persistent in retention and graduation rates in the system, throughout the UW system, so we have work to do. But if there's one thing that I have found over time, it's that we can make a difference in our own ways, at work, in our families, and our friends, and our communities, and we must continue to do that work toward ensuring safe, diverse, equitable, and inclusive communities. Alumni. I am so proud to be a UWL alum. I love this place. Even though we've lived in different places, this is still the place that still feels like home every time I come back. And I think it's in part because this is where I grew up, all those adult things that you do. It was our first apartment. I met my partner, Dan, who was an admissions counselor during one of my practicums in the admissions office. He was not supervising me, in case HR's here. We were married here in La Crosse, and 2 of our kids were born here. And I remember coming here for the first time, and I was just captivated by the beauty, as many of you are. The bluffs and the river, and just the campus is beautiful, and all the new buildings since we've been here. The campus just continues to look beautiful. And I feel lucky to have come to a place that has a strong student development division and a strong student affairs administration graduate program, which has continued to expand. Wherever I go, I meet so many staff in student affairs who either worked here or went to school here. What I've always appreciated about this place is that it puts students first. And that I've carried that with me throughout my 25 years working in higher education. But as we know, even with the beauty and the strong academic programs, it is the people that makes this place what it is. And there have been so many people who've had a positive influence on me, many of who are in this room who I haven't seen for so long. Larry Ringenberg has been a mentor for me throughout my career. God, the Richardsons, I haven't seen you. We worked with Greek advising for so long. My roommate. I don't want to start naming names because there's so many of you that I can name, and I don't want to miss anybody. They always say that the 2 times when everyone who's in a room, the different parts of your journey at one time, it's like your wedding and your funeral, and you don't really get to enjoy that last one. So I'm considering this a bonus. It's great to have you all here. So I've enjoyed being part of the UWL Alumni Association the last couple of years because it's provided me a good excuse to come back. It's been great interacting with such the wonderful team in Alumni Affairs, Janie and the whole team there, and the board members and so many alums that I've had a chance to meet. I am constantly reminded why I love this place and why I'm so proud to be a UWL alum. An award. Finally, this is an award. So as you know, one doesn't get an award by themselves. It comes by it happens because of the people who surround them. So I need to give some special thanks, as we've all heard how important, particularly family, is in your journey. First, my partner, Dan. Our careers have always followed each other as we both have worked in higher education. I don't think we would have ever left La Crosse, as we both loved it here so much, but when I said I wanted to go back for my doctorate, Dan didn't hesitate, even though it meant leaving a job that he loved, our house, and good friends. He has always supported me in pursuing my dreams, a great father and great husband and fellow alum. This past summer, we celebrated our 25th year wedding anniversary, which is hard to believe, and I'm just so grateful that we found each other here at UWL, and thank you. I love you. Next to my kids, we have 3 boys, Jordan, who's 23, and Ryan, 20, and then Alex, a 9-year-old. Just like we planned it. So they are what I am the most, oh, I'm sorry, that was not on the script. They are what I am the most proud of, and they are truly my greatest accomplishment. My older boys grew up on this campus, attending organization meetings and events since they were babies, so it's not surprising that my oldest now is an admissions counselor at UW Stevens Point and working in higher ed. Ryan is in Milwaukee, working hard there, and it's so exciting because his godparents are actually the Shoquists, so it's funny how life comes around. Unfortunately, our son Alex can't be here because he has a soccer game, 2 football games, and travel basketball, and so that when they say it takes a village, we have a village getting him to where he needs to be today. But what I want to say is to my boys, I'm proud of you and the young men that you've become. You are why I do what I do, and I'm lucky to be your mom, so thank you. And of course, to my parents. I am blessed to have parents who have always supported me in achieving my goals. My parents were both teachers and cultivated my love for education. And although my father has passed away, I know he's here with me and would have been proud of his little girl accepting this award. Fortunately, my mom is here. I want to say a sincere thank you, Mom, for all you've done. Yesterday, when I told her I mentioned her at the panel as the person influential in my life, she said, "Why? I haven't done anything." But you have. In addition to your humility, you've modeled what it is to be a strong woman who cares so deeply about others. You taught me to be proud of who I am and follow my dreams. And you've sacrificed your entire life for me to have a better life, and now you're continuing to do that for your grandchildren. So thank you for making who I am today, Maraming salamat. Mom. So that's it. Thank you to everyone in this room who's been a part of my journey. I feel blessed to have had amazing friends and colleagues and mentors who've had such an impact on my life. UWL is such a special place with special people that will always have a special place in my heart. Thank you again for this award. I can't tell you how much it means to me. Thank you, and go Eagles.